Hello, and thanks for joining me on this video on stress and support. So one of the things that a lot of people don't really pay a lot of attention to in themselves is their level of stress. And it's one of those things where it's a self-awareness piece, right? So this is essentially kind of noticing for yourself what's going on, and you can use these, the tools that I'm putting on kind of for assessing the stress level of others, but primarily this is focused on kind of what does it mean for me to pay attention to my own stress and kind of changing how I do my life according to the level of stress that I'm in. And that really is kind of a new idea for a lot of people, is that when we get increased levels of stress, we ought to actually change the way we structure our lives because, well, frankly, as we get more stressed, we get less resourced as an adult. And so one of the ways that I like looking at stress is kind of looking at really 5 levels of stress. I hope I do this right. So level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. Look at that, 5 levels. And down here, everything is going good, right? This is, life is great. I'm having a good time, really nothing kind of going wrong. This is almost like the perfect vacation, right? Or that 1 week in 2014 where just everything was going your way. So this is not something we commonly experience in the West, unless we're just really, really good at managing stress and managing our lives. This is possible if we pay very close attention to it. But, I wouldn't expect a lot of people to be living here, and certainly not the ones watching this video. Level 2 is, things are pretty okay. This is, a good life, right? We could do this and just coast for a really long time, right? So here we are just like super happy, like twinkle eye happy, and just everything's going great. Here we're happy, life is good, and everything's kind of going okay. On this level, we're starting to notice, yeah, we're okay, but sort of not okay, right? So level 3, we're starting to actually have to work at keeping our lives going. So there's some significant kind of long-term stressors in your life, hard to solve problems. Maybe there's a chronic illness, maybe a struggle to grow your business, maybe it's financial challenges, a debt that just doesn't seem to be able to go away, or something like that. And so you're starting to feel like, you know what, I wish life wasn't this stressful, right? Because there's enough kind of good and bad going on that it's okay, we can make it, we're not going bankrupt or anything. But this is hard work. I'm having to kind of pay attention every day to managing these issues. Level 4 is some serious unhappy, right? This is a level of stress where basically it's just mostly problems, and they are difficult to solve problems, or there's just one massive problem, right? Maybe somebody you love has just, been seriously injured, and your whole life is thrown into kind of craziness, and you're not able to kind of carry on life as normal, right? And so there's something significant happening here. And then right here, this is a level of stress where, it's kind of sort of life and death, maybe not literally life and death, but your whole way of life, your whole expectation of the world, everything is falling down. And there is just nothing going right at this point, right? And this, can be a lot of different things. It can be addiction, it can be complete and utter failure of an important relationship, it can be the death of, multiple people in your family, it can be your home burning down, right? There's a whole bunch of different things that can just go that horribly wrong here. Or it is a life where you have lived at this level for so long that there just really is no way out. Right now it's endemic, it's just part of your horrible life. And so I kind of think of these as DEFCON levels, right? So if I'm at DEFCON level 4, it's, we've got to do a lot of stuff here. And the reason I think of that is because There's a reason why governments and organizations put levels to things, because it helps analyze and assess what is it we need to do in terms of support. Right, so when we are kind of down here, we actually don't need all that much support outside of what just normally happens, right? So this is kind of just a natural, this is informal support. Right, so you have people to talk to, you've got friends, you've got skilled neighbors, you've got, buddies to help you with this, that, or the other thing. And so, you actually don't need a lot of support here. And in fact, you can provide a ton of support here, right? Here you are a support, right? And I'm going to symbolize that with 3 pluses, right? So you're able to give a lot, and you really don't need to take much, right? In fact, you're not taking much at all, because these are all very mutually supportive relationships. Here, you're also able to be supportive, but not quite so much, right? You don't have as much time or resource to give. And so you're actually now, able to give some support. But here you are, you're beginning to need your informal support a bit more, right? So there's informal support underlined, and you're starting to think about maybe accessing some of your skilled informal supports, right? You're not just calling your buddy over for beers and a chat. You're actually talking to your cousin who's a counselor or something about 1 or 2 little things that happen, right? It's like maybe, how do I talk to my kids through choosing a college or something, low stress like that. Here, when you start getting into this level 3 stress, yeah, you are able to still provide supports to others, right? There's enough going on that you're employing people, or you're helping your kids with their homework or whatever, but you're also starting to cost a bit, right? So this is where your informal supports start feeling strained, right? You're calling me all the time, man, right? I know I'm your cousin, but really, every week, right? So this is, you're really starting to kind of bring in. And this is where you might start beginning to consider some formal support, right? By formal, I mean professional. So you're actually going to have to spend some money here, right? Not a lot, maybe 1 or 2 sessions just to get your head straight, or to maybe you get a business coach in and they help you with tweaking a few of the things that you're doing wrong, or help you with a mindset problem, and everything gets better after that. Those sorts of things happen at this level of stress. But you're probably going to need that input somewhat regularly, because there's some important problems going on, right? We can most entrepreneurs are at this level, most leaders kind of live up here. And this is kind of a very energetic level. And so if you've got the stamina for it, you can live there for quite a while. But I usually would prefer people to kind of be living down here, simply because they've set up their lives that they have the supports they need to manage their stress at the level they need. Here, you definitely need professional help, right? And this time, you're not just doing it a little bit. And now your informal support gets a bit smaller, right? You don't lean on them so much, because, well, probably you've been burning them out a little bit as you work through level 3. And so now it's actually time to stop leaning on those informal supports, because frankly, at this level, you don't have much to give, right? So this is one of those things where you're beginning to be costly to others, because you're always stressed, you always need help, you're always, right? I mean, nobody's always anything, but it's a kind of the feel of it, right? Often you're reaching out for support, and if you are able to help, it's just like a little tiny thing in the corner, right? It's not anything significant. So you need to kind of recognize that as your stress level goes up, you need to increase your support, and recognize that at some point you're going to need professional support. Maybe it's a doctor, medical doctor, maybe it's a physiotherapist, maybe it's a debt support, right? Debt counseling. Maybe it's marriage counseling, maybe it's a lawyer, right? You need professionals to support you up here. When you're in DEFCON 5, this is kind of an all hands on deck kind of thing. And essentially, you are not even able to help yourself at this point, right? And so this is kind of where it gets really expensive, because you're going to have to really deal with whatever massive thing's gone wrong. So just, sit back, take a think through your life. What stress level are you at, right? How much are you able to kind of support others, and how often are you needing support? And then take a look, are you actually getting the kind of support that you need? It's not natural for people in our culture where independence and self-reliance is so kind of lifted up as important, to recognize that we actually do need to bring on support. The reality is, the sooner we bring support in, the more likely we'll just turn that puppy around, right? The more we go up here, the harder it is to get back down here. And so we need to recognize our level of stress, so that if we're at level 3, we are actively working at trying to bring our stress level down. Because ultimately, if we manage our stress at this level, we are far less likely to get stressed out at this level, right? Every layer you go up puts you at risk for the layer above. And the longer we stay in any particular layer, the greater the risk that will pop up over the other side. So we need to begin investing, bringing ourselves down, managing our own stress by recognizing where we are, and getting those informal and formal professional services and supports to help us manage our stress. Thanks for watching, and again, we'll leave the video up or the picture up for a bit, and yeah, think about your life and whether you're getting the support you need.